Retired Sergeant John Tescione is one of the many amazing people I met at the Invictus Games. He was shot 7 times, including 4 times in the head while on duty in Croatia. The man he credits with saving his life, he also credits with inspiring him to apply for Invictus, and I got to talk to both of them. You guys go way back. You credit Phil with really saving your life.
Saving my life,
yeah.
Literally. 1994, December 31st, Phil saved our life. We went through an ambush, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
And Phil, talk to me about being here. You competed last year?
Yes.
What's it like a year later to be here supporting Team Canada?
Well, for one, it's amazing just to have the experience of being in the Invictus Games at all, and to come back as friends and family, as John invited myself and my wife to come. To support him is just amazing. You know, he credits me for saving his life. I always said he's just along for the drive. And so, you know, it's thankful, and, you know, we have a special bond. We've been friends forever since, you know, and that just, he's the best man at my wedding. So.
Yep.
Well, I can't imagine, I can't put myself in your shoes on that day when you were ambushed, but you both suffer from PTSD because of that.
That's right.
But it took you a long time to open up, to talk about it. Why?
There's a stigma behind it. You know, if you came forward at a time when you said you had PTSD, it was an invisible wound. People thought you were weak. I thought I was weak. I believed into it, and I didn't want to come forward to get my mind better. You know?
Phil, what about you? What was the barrier for you?
Well, when I was in the infantry, everything was speed and violence and aggression. And when I remustered after my tour in 2001, I went firefighter. So I'm in Cold Lake in an Air Force base, and Rob Short just died in Afghanistan, a buddy of mine from 3RCR, and I just couldn't realize how angry I was. And I had somebody walking around, you know, in Cold Lake, an Air Force base. It's not stressful.
Yeah.
I was extremely angry at myself and at everything else, and that's why I'm like, okay, this is not right, this is not natural. John and I were talking on the phone, and we're like having the same symptoms where other parts of the country are like, okay, something's going on.
But so talk to me about this. You're here, the spirit of Invictus is about supporting members of the military, their families, the veterans, but I mean, you really relied on each other to get that help. The military doesn't seem like it was there to support you at the time. So how do you feel here being that support network that wasn't there for you?
Well, it's always ongoing. Like back then, it was a different time, and it wasn't talked about. And again, like John said, you were considered weak or not be able to do your job. But with Invictus and with this, there is the continuation of your sport. It's just not the games. It's the start of your journey of recovery, no matter where you're on your recovery. So after the games, there is going to be a down spiral, and that's where they talk about peer support between athletes and friends and family to keep you motivated, keep you going, and keep the morale high.
Yeah. So we were talking, John, we were talking about the anger being there, the darkness being there.
That's right.
What's it like to wake up today?
Oh, I'm happy all the time. You can see I smile. I can't stop smiling. And you'll see me like this even back home. I enjoy life, you know. And I think that's why Invictus represents that, represents our healing, because you can see the joy in us that for a long time I never had.
You know, we're doing everything we can to spread the word that people shouldn't suffer in silence, that there is help out there, but there is still a barrier, especially in the military. How do we overcome that barrier? How do we shatter that barrier so that everyone knows they can get help, and being in pain is not weakness. It's a sign that you're simply ill and need to get better.
I think an event like this, I think Invictus epitomizes it in the sense that you can still carry on. You could do it. You could compete, and use your aggression in a good way. And I think that's more than just sitting people down and giving them a lecture what PTSD is. You know, giving us the opportunity to be able to serve our country again. I mean, that's healing right there.
Tomorrow I talk with 2 Invictus athletes whose haunted past brought them together. We'll be right back.